Right. Good morning. Good morning. Just give me a minute to check all the audio before I waste my time and find out it doesn't actually work. Ooh, yes. Perfect. Check the audio is working. It is. It is. Okay. It is Friday, the 12th of September. It's 9:20. It's been a while since I've done any videos. Kind of been quite busy. Summer period, not been trading a lot. When I did trade, it was bad, especially in August time and the month before. So I've given it a bit of a rest and sort of stayed away from trading, to be honest. I've opened a new fund account at 10,000, so hopefully you'll get to follow going through the 10,000 challenge, getting that 10% and getting that final 5%, and going back to live accounts, as both my live accounts have been severed from poor performance, I guess you could call it. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll also look at some news, have some ideas of what I would like to do with this channel a little bit too. I think I'm quite interested in, which is of course tied to trading as well, the economy, but also politics plays a big part in how the markets move, which we see especially now in times where we have Trump in the US, Keir Starmer in the UK, with chancellors that keep changing, and Rachel Reeves, COVID, that's quite a while ago now, but yeah, politics plays a big part. And I think an interesting thing to look into will actually be as well as the economic releases that we see, the standard unemployment rate and the GDP and the CPI, things like that. I think it'll be quite interesting to look at the real data sets that the government allow you to look at, to download, and work out, where money's being spent. Do we see anything, trends that are happening that could be quite detrimental for the country? I think for me, the majority of that analysis will be on the pound. I don't have the time to look at every single currency, and also I don't know how the US system works, but I'm a little bit more familiar with the United Kingdom's way of storing data, recording data, and the format that they put it in. So I think that's something we'll end up looking at together as well in separate videos, which I'll probably film not live, but in what's the word? Yeah, off air, and edit and make nice and fancy. It won't be so raw. What's new in the news? Well, non-economic, but 2 days ago we had the death of Charlie Kirk, which is super sad. Whether people agree with him, disagree with him, I can't sit here and say I agree with everything he said. I think some of the things he said was probably totally not correct. Some of the things he says are totally correct, but nobody deserves to die for having an opinion. That's just totally unacceptable, especially when you have a family there too. That is just absolutely awful, and to think people celebrate that is very sick. So yes, I hope he rests in peace, and we will move on with the rest of the video. So perhaps we scroll through the news, look at what's going on. TradingView have actually just released a really cool thing on their platform, which actually we'll look at first. It's not the best. I see they're kind of trying to get a bit more like a Bloomberg terminal with extra things. We've got testers, we've got the news, we've got markets, we've got an economic calendar now, which we've had for a while. There's this little globe, right, which opens up to this fancy little thing here. And on here, you've got economic data, historical, for the world. Obviously, not every country's got certain data. But, for example, we can look at interest rates globally. I think that the darker it is, the higher. So interest rates in Russia are 18%. Quite easy to get an overview. The one I like is, I'm pretty sure bonds are on here. Debt to GDP. That's private debt. I don't want that. So you have a lot of things you can search. Trade, external debt to GDP, government debt to GDP. 95.9% debt to GDP. 95, what are we in France? 113%. US 110. 124. Canada 110. A lot of debt. A huge amount of debt. Unemployment in the UK start on the rise. Unemployment in Canada relatively on the rise. France, to me, it's fallen. France is really hitting the news at the moment. I haven't really looked into it so much as to why people are panicking that the IRS are going to have to do something with them, because it seems pretty bad. Prices, I didn't know that was in there. CPI, 139, 164. That's funny. GDP. Yeah, so you got lots of little things. It's quite simple. I've never used a Bloomberg terminal. I'd love to, but I think that they're trying to get some sort of data set, and I think it's going to get there at some point. I hope they don't start charging us a lot more, but yeah, for now, it's, everything's appreciated. So let's perhaps go through the news, and actually my favourite source of news has got to be X. And I'm very careful what I search on here, because that's not the account. Because I like this to be dedicated purely to my news. I don't want rubbish on here, so I just follow news accounts, and I can go in here and see exactly what's going on. Following. Some of it's world news, it's not all just, it's not all economics, just economic. ECB offered diverging news on next step for interest rates, uncertainty. But yeah, I mean, Europe's kept their interest rates at, was it 4.15 or 2.15? Euro, 2.15 ECB, but uncertainty about the future. Also the Fed. Trump really wants Powell to reduce rates. What else have we got? OpenAI, Giorgio Armani. This account's good as well. If there's one account you were looking for, Trading Economics is very good. Here you've got all the sort of, when you open it, you've got all the posts, it's constantly updated, and you've got, leading economic index. The United Kingdom increased by 0.2%. You've got monthly GDP, month on month. Yeah, you have lots of data. Monthly manufacturing production, month on month, decreased to a negative 1.3% from 0.5% in June. Not surprised, to be honest. Dollar index pressured by Fed rate cut bets. It's funny because somewhere where I found to be a non sort of biased way of looking at what the market sentiment is for whatever it is, whether it's, is this camera clean? Whether it's for anything really. There's a website where it's a crypto-based betting site, and you can bet literally on anything, and there's a lot of them about rate cuts, and I think it's a good way of knowing what people. I mean, of course, you can never know, but it's a good way of predicting. Economic calendar. What have we got today? Oh, GDP came out this morning when I was asleep. Wow, we're doing really well. 0%. Great. Really good job. Let's see how much growth we've got recently. Oh, fucking hell, look at that. It's so bad. Flat, just no growth. This is month to month. I wonder if we've got year on year. What's the code? GBM GDP. So it's pretty pathetic, isn't it? Things you really do need growth. Really not a good thing. I was just gonna search. It's a good thing I've got this iPad now, you see, because I can do a little bit of extra research. Exactly. Yeah, that's interesting. So I'm reading up, and actually, so for example, I just said to it, why, and I heard this point before, but I wanted to obviously clarify it. I said to it, why do we need GDP in the UK to help with, well, in any economy to help with inflation? Debt and GDP, government debt is often compared to GDP, and that's actually what we were just looking at earlier. So when we look at this chart, and we look at government debt to GDP, which we see here, currently we stand at 95.9% of the United Kingdom's gross domestic product is also the same value in debt. When GDP grows, obviously we generate more income, more tax revenue, and the government can service with that extra revenue the government's expenditures without having to raise taxes too much or, have to take more debt on. If GDP stagnates but debt keeps rising, which we see in the UK, GDP is stagnating. We're seeing almost no change month on month, very little change year on year. So the economy's GDP is pretty much staying the same. But although it's staying the same, our costs are getting more and more. And I think it's the same way you can look at it almost as a business as well. You can have some companies where you have variable costing models where the bigger they get, the more expensive their overheads are. You have other businesses where, like a service-based business, where it's not as variable. So the customer base can grow and they can be selling more and more, but their costs stay very similar. In the UK, you need GDP growth as well as a growth in costs. You can't just have a growth in costs and no growth in GDP. It's just a net negative. So, for example, if the UK had £2.5 trillion worth of debt, it's less alarming if the GDP is 3 trillion, because then it's 83% of GDP. Then if GDP is 2 trillion, it's 125%. So you can see how that trillion makes a big difference. Of course, trillion is a lot of money. Inflation is also similar. Healthy inflation and growth means more jobs, higher wages, and more supply of goods and services. If GDP grows too slowly while demand stays strong, you get inflation because too much money is chasing too few goods. If GDP grows steadily, it balances supply and demand, keeping inflation in check. Long-term GDP growth also gives the Bank of England more room to raise or lower interest rates without choking the economy. So we need GDP growth to reduce debt pressure. Growth raises tax revenues, without needing harsh spending cuts or tax hikes. And to stabilise inflation, growth ensures it keeps up with demand, and it gives more confidence. So yeah, we need GDP growth, and for it to come out at 0% this morning is not great. And of course, having that much debt, which is not all, that debt is coming from international funders, it's coming from government bonds that are sold, and of course, you can track government bond yields. I keep them under my government bonds. We've got 10-year, 30-year. If we just take a little look here at government bonds in a month, actually, it's kind of gone down. Is that 1 minute or? Oh, there we go. I was going to say, no way. Let's look at weekly. Shit. This, essentially, are IOUs to the government that the government sell to investors, and in return, we pay interest on that. And part of that debt that we just saw of 95% of our GDP is skills, right? So when we see this graph go up, essentially this is the rate at which 10-year or 30-year, 30-year gilts are being sold and bonds to investors, which means that our debt is getting more and more expensive. And as debt expires at previous rates, for example, let's just say 10 years, so 10 years ago a bond was sold, it's not here because 20, but let's just say at some point the bond was bought here in 2009 and it's expiring today, which they're not that long, but let's just look back 10 years from 2025, we're looking at 2015. If some bonds were bought at 1.3% or money was given to the government at that rate, fixed for 10 years, and that debt expires and the government can't pay it off and they have to refinance it, they'll have to then refinance it at the new rate, which is now 4.6%. So you're going to have that same amount of debt, which is worth less because of inflation, and you're now paying 4.6%. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, for example, if you have 100 billion in debt at 2%, it costs 2 billion a year in interest. If it's at 5%, that's 5 billion. So that's 3 billion that can't go to schools. Now, to put into perspective, okay, 3 billion doesn't sound a lot. When we say that our deficit, which is the biggest problem now that we have in the UK, of this 40 billion, we've got a 40 billion deficit, and the government before left it, and blah 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 blah. When they say that, and you see that actually from just an interest payments we're going to be paying, and that's just from how much was that example of? That was just 100 billion, right? So you can imagine how much actual debt we're in when the GDP size of the UK is 3.6 trillion. So that little silly 40 billion black hole is peanuts in comparison to the debt cost that we're paying because we're in so much debt and because our rate is so high. And I don't know what the EU rate is now. The EU is much lower. We're at 2.6%. Canada's at 3%. Japan. What even does that mean? How can they be at 99? Whatever. Shouldn't have sold my bloody Vanguard stock. Right. Let's look at what I'm currently in. I'm only in one trade at the moment. Let's just make you a bit bigger. This is the only thing I wish you could just tell it find light, like the point at which we're in. US dollar CAD. So price to me is pretty stagnant at the moment. On the 1 hour chart, which is what I've been trading mostly, we've got It's just a little bit of fog on that camera. Let me just fix that up a bit. Where's my cloth? It's in my bag. Oh. There you are. Just give you a little polish. Oh yeah. Hello. Gotta be ultra clear now. Okay. So yeah, I have one position open. I foresee that we're going to probably be aiming back up to this fib level of 1 where I started this fib pattern that I've drawn on. All pretty hard. It stagnated over the 200-day EMA, fell below. It's made its way back up. It's bounced off. It bounced off here. It's thought more than I thought it would, but I do suspect another repeat to come up, test this level again. Perhaps it will fall again at that level. I don't really know. You can see we've kind of just broken over this point, now it's lingering around here, which is fine. Still on that 200-day EMA, it's not pushed below it much. I've put my stop loss below it, and if it hits it, I'll close. I'm not going to close it if it peeks through the EMA prematurely. I'll let it do its thing. Got some shitty music on. What is this? I don't even know if I'm allowed to play this on stream, to be honest. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I've got this position open at the moment. I think yesterday I was a little confused and I probably missed out on it. I was just a bit scared because I just opened the new account and I thought, trading the news, should I do it? I saw that the forecast for the news yesterday was meant to be pretty, see here, inflation rate stayed the same. Core inflation stayed the same year on year. Inflation rate slightly increased by 2 ticks, but it was on target for forecast. Inflation rate month on month had increased and it was slightly above forecast. And core inflation stayed the same. And I'm sure new data about, did NFP come out yesterday? Yesterday, no, that was it. Yeah, and actually just seeing that little bit of inflation coming hotter, no, there was more than that actually. I'm sure there was job data out yesterday as well. Where are we? What was it today? The 12th. That's April. Why? So yesterday, here it was unemployment claims. They came in hot, 263k, up from previous 236k. So it's quite a bit of an increase. You can see it's quite an anomaly there. And that's what should have made me, I had a position open and I shut it quick on, what did I do? I shorted the dollar. Sorry, I bought the dollar. Yeah, thinking it was going to be in line and that it would be strong, because when the investors saw that it wasn't negative, it would continue to go up, because I think people, when the data comes out in line or with no worsening effect, that people often get surprised. I think a lot of people are just waiting for the data to come where we start seeing negative effects on the economy, but it's not seemed to happen yet since Trump's come in. Too much, at least, on the surface level of what I know. So yeah, this was obviously not great data, and we did have a bit of a short opportunity there, but nothing mega, to be honest. And you can see with the US dollar CAD, we basically got price fall down to 200 EMA. It's not like it's done anything drastic, but I saw it as a decent buying point. Probably could have left it down to this 0.5 fib level, but we didn't. Today, did I talk about what we've got coming out? We had GDP, and we've got Michigan's consumer sentiment coming at 4 o'clock. And we don't expect the forecast to change much, so I don't expect much to happen there, but if anything, it could be positive for the US. which supports us a little bit in the process of. I just want to see what quality we get. It's only 720p. That's a bit shit, isn't it? Wish it could be 4K because we've got a great camera over here. Anyway, do we have any other positions? Don't really like opening positions on a Friday, to be honest, but we'll just take a peep. Anyway, again, this was here. Euro kept there. So ECB kept rates the same. US had slightly hot unemployment data, and inflation was a slight uptick in some areas. I haven't got the breakdown exactly of what the industries were where we saw the most inflation, because there were some that did have it a bit heavier than the others in the weighting. This is the weekend playing. I hate the weekend. And I hate this background as well. Sorry, I have to change it. It's really peeving me off. Where's my special one? Let's go pro black. Yeah. Pro. I'm so pro. Okay. Let's just shuffle favourites. What do you expect me to say? You know it's just too late. Right, I've got a 4 hour, like I've always said. It's nice to open it at a macro view and go down to micro, like we have in economics. See general trends. You know, there's no point looking here where we've got this kind of crappy flat sort of market dynamic, and we go down to a 30 minute here, and we see, oh my god, look at that growth, it's huge, goodness. A bit of a retracement, we're going to see massive growth again. When realistically, when we look at the 4 hour chart, it's kind of just bouncing, which is not a bad thing. I mean, you can also trade that, although that is sort of breaking out a tiny bit, so I don't really know what's going on there. US. So US indexes are pretty good today if you look at the bottom of the screen. See, I've got the news going on. I know you can't hear it, but I've put it on just because it's nice to see. And sometimes I play, if I'm not talking to the camera, I'll make the dynamic difference so you can hear the news while I shut up. Okay, US dollar Japanese yen is pretty flat. This is pretty interesting, just on the quick overview. Sometimes it's actually nice as well not to look too deeply into it. I just sort of see what I spot, blah blah blah. Don't do anything too heavy and try and make something out of what you see. I often find sometimes you can overanalyze just technical analysis, forgetting about fundamentals and economic data, and we just look at... you can find a pattern in anything if you want to look for it. I could look at the beach and at some sand, a pile of sand, and I could probably spot a bloody chart. So there's no point sometimes going too deeply into it, at least when you're scouting it out. So I'm just going to see this for now. Be interesting to see if it breaks over here. If it doesn't, don't really know what would happen. But this could be a bit of a target up here, so I'm going to put this in green because we like it. Hello. Oh yeah, minty green. Okay. Australian dollar, US dollar. What do we have? Quite high, not all time. See, that gives you more perspective here because you're not so wandering in the dark. Could be quite a key level somewhere between here. Currently, what's priced is kind of peaking up here. RSI is pretty high. It's quite overbought. I don't really get RSI divergence, so I'm going to get rid of that. I just understand normal stochastic. Quite high at the moment. I don't like trading things that move too quick or have moved already. But you see, for me, worst case is we start touching this 0.5 and go up. I really don't think we're going to see it bust too far below. 1 hour chart, we were at the 200-day EMA. So I do think we can see a push up to that 193,200 level price. Or at least here, but I'll be pretty unhappy with closing that because that's a crappy return. That's so cool. I love watching the sort of. I've got like you know, I can see on the screen at the same time what's going on with the stream. I like that. Very cool. Very nice. Been waiting to find an excuse for this iPad. I've had like nothing, but actually this is pretty good. Actually, to be able to monitor, because you know when my Mac is running, the Mac is closed over there, and the screen's up here. How's the weather like? It's not great. Not great in Geneva today. Not amazing. Okay, this is looking pretty shit. That was nice, little breakout. Keep running, keep running. I like this, but is this opposing the bloody position I've got on US dollar CAD? So here, you see I bought the dollar. Is it going to be a good position? Because I like the look of this. That looks great. I don't know what to do. I have a bad feeling about this one. I don't know why, but I just think it'd be a bit. It wouldn't be great if I close it before it passed that red line, so I'm going to put an alert on this. I also have the funniest alert names. What are we? USD CAD. Not looking good. Okay. I really do like that New Zealand dollar trade, but it's pointless me doing that because when I'm having this one go up, the other one's not necessarily doing the opposite, but most likely. Don't really know what to do. I'm gonna have to just bite my tongue on this one. It's a really nice little, you know, when you got a nice pattern like this where it's very steppy, I like trading that. You know, I can't see price just suddenly dropping for no reason. I really can see Price targeting this here, because this is pretty minor to me. This seems like quite a major level. It's quite a big peak. Where's my volume points? Doesn't go about that far. So we can see 782,000 unit sales, 689, 700k. That's quite big. That'd be a lovely trade. Maybe what I'll just do is sign in on my Windows so you can see my account. I don't think I've signed MetaTrader in just yet. I've got my credentials. Stupid thing doing. Honestly, running with Windows 11 on Mac is not the thing to do. I didn't want. Did I click trading view? I didn't bloody ask for that. I want this. For God's sake. Open, mate. Oh my god. This is ridiculous. Alright, while that's opening. Okay, we need to log in to a new account. Hey, what are we trading here? Right, so we got to here where I was pretty sad because I want to buy it. Whatever. Right. Back to macro for God, getting a bit hot there. Might have to take this jumper. Right, let's listen to some news. I don't really need to hear me now. Bye bye music. Let's get rid of you. Back to the stream. Oh yes. Yeah. Why can't I hear it? Can I hear it in the stream? Why? How strange. Is it not? Audio's there. There's audio there. I don't understand. Why have I not got any monitoring of it? How stupid. That's a shame. How stupid is that? Bloomberg. Earlier it was literally just working. I was just sitting here and I could hear it all. Now I bloody can't. Is my speaker work? Yeah, you can't hear it. How stupid is that? Bloomberg. Right, well you've got no news then. That's a shame, sorry. No music for you. I mean, no news for you, just me. And some tunes. That's what we're gonna do. Kind of looks like it's stepping up a bit, but it's quite radical sort of movement. That's just shooting up Australian dollar, which I think we saw on another pair of AUD earlier. Kind of in no man's land. I don't like trading massive reversals like that. And sanctuary. To be fair, I'm buying the US dollar here, which means I can short the pound. It does look like we're at quite a ceiling, and it doesn't seem to care about the moving average. You made me think about you. Kind of got a double top. Didn't even reach the top, to be fair. Where would I stop loss? Probably could do quite a tight one, to be honest. And I can reduce that and still have a... Okay, now I use my standard procedure and we go into my calc. I don't know if it's like super non-pro to do this. A lot of people, I don't know, do they just calculate in their head, or do you know? I don't know. I don't always know the pip amount. I don't always look at it. Okay, let's open that up. MetaTrader, we're doing British pound, US dollar. Spread this of 6, and we're doing 0.23 units. And we're shorting. Bam. Done. Modify. So our actual entry price was 135614. Good, that's very good. Stop loss is 1.36 205, and our TP is 1.34167. There we go, we're in. Super. 205. Okay. Whenever I'm in a trade, I put these as green. So yeah, I always use these because I find it's nice to be able to say, like, now I basically know that's my actual entry price, so I know my max loss here is 100, which is what I want, because I do 1%, and I could win, I could gain 245, so it's 2.45 return, yeah. The thing is, I wasn't sure, because obviously I'm trading on these accounts with very tight restrictions. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to wasn't sure whether I wanted, that's nice, hello. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to, I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, reduce the amount that I'm risking. So at the moment I do 100 Swiss franc, or my own pound account actually. I'm on pound account. £100 risk for a 200 return, basically, if I'm respecting 1 to 2, which I always do, if not more. So yeah, I wasn't sure whether just to drop it a little bit to like a 75 max loss. I'm going to cruise with 100, but to be honest, I think it's more of a quality thing than anything else. So yeah, that's the plan. Right, I'm just going to go grab some more water, so I'll be back in 1 moment. Right, 1 minute. Yeah, as I was saying, better quality trades, but keeping my risk amount the same. Because, you know, if I just look at this actually, when I think about it, if I was to do two very, very good, well thought out planned trades, two trades essentially is half of my challenge target of part one, and it's of part two, it's the whole thing. Oh, I hate when that opens. I wonder how that looks. It's the whole 200%. I should probably have some light in here, shouldn't I? Whatever, let's put some. Let's open up, it's daytime. Change my wallpaper. It's my OCD brain. It's got to be. It's not an automatic blind. It's just a shitty blind that doesn't stay down, and it wakes me up every minute of the bloody day. It's a real pain. That's like a nice London wallpaper. I like that. Okay. I think I'll take this jumper off as well. Oh. Such a shame. Oxford Union student who's the head of the union celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. That is just so disgusting. It's disgusting. Fresh. Let's go. Let me close this stupid. I feel like gold's going to plateau, but it's crazy. See, I actually shorted it here and I lost quite a bit because I did not think it was going to break past the high. Every time before where it's got to like a high, it's almost like allergically reacted. That's insane. Holy shite. What's that done then this year? See, here I think I was trading gold a bit because I think a lot of the times where we saw price hit similar levels, we saw this drop. We always saw a bit of a peak up, but again, look here, drop. Here, I probably would have thought there would be a drop. It obviously broke through, and I thought there's no way it's going to push through 3,500. And I also find when price hits key numbers like 3,500, that's when you get headlines come through, because no one's writing headlines that gold has hit 3,475. It's not, for one, it's not a height, and for two, it doesn't sound great. But when you have gold hit 3,500 per ounce, it's big news. It's hit it before, and either you have, I think, a big sell-off because everyone's like, sell the gold out because this is the height, it's going to drop, or it does the complete opposite and it hypes it up, and actually gold continues to rise, which in this case I think we've seen, and we're on track, I think, for gold to hit 4,000. I bet you by the end of the year. Genuinely believe that. Which would return another 10%. People are making a lot of money. That's a lot of money. It's funny because actually I was walking through Geneva, which is where I live, the other day, and next bank to me is Lombard Odier, and there was humongous Brinks trucks out there, and I didn't really realise what it was for at the start because it didn't say anything about Brinks or anything. It was a logistics company. I thought, this is strange, logistics company with armed guards everywhere, all blacked out with earpieces in, standing along the whole street, support cars behind. You had like one truck, 2 support cars and 5 support cars behind every single lorry. There were 2 of them and they specialise in gold movement, gold bar moving. God, I'm a bit hungry. Let's have some pasta. Good. Good that I didn't do that, eh? Perhaps it just double topped here and actually just thought, sod it, I'm gonna drop. It's terrible lighting. It's very matted. Kinda need it like up here. In fact, behind the camera. That's crap, isn't it? I need a studio. I've not got studio lighting. Not great, is it? That's a bit better. It's crazy, like what it does to your face and your arm. It just doesn't bother with your arm. So I did take a mini loss, I think, last night. I opened a tiny position, I closed it for 19 because it was a British pound, US dollar. Oh, this was yesterday with the news. No, yes. Yeah, it was. It was here yesterday, 2 o'clock. Something. It was when that news came out, basically. We're on the 4 hour, so it can't really see it. Yeah, it was here. See all this news. I sold because I thought the dog was going to do good. But obviously, the news was a bit adverse and it went up, but I lost 19 quid. It's a burger, isn't it? What's going on then? Why don't we look? Actually, I'll just show you what I meant by looking at UK data because it fascinates me. So anywhere, and I really encourage anyone to go and do this. One good thing about living in the UK, there's many of course, is that a lot of data in England is public. It's all public, so you can really go and type in UK Gov budget data. Yeah, I know it's all spelled wrong. So usually, I think it's the ONS. You've got data sets. Oh, I don't like this one. Hang on, it should be UK Gov claimant data. Universal credit stats. There we go. So here you've got. This isn't what I wanted. Here we go. This is 2019. Somewhere. I had all the tables. I don't want Stat Explorer. Fucking stupid. Maybe I should get a Stat Explorer. Here we go. So unemployment and economic inactivity. Young people not in employment. Watch this. Where is the data? This isn't it. Duncan. This isn't really what I was looking for. I was really hoping to just show you what I had a really good link. Where the heck? This could be it. Okay. Let's just check. So let's go into imports, exports, government spending. There's just so much crap on here. It's too much. Maybe I've stored it downloaded. Okay, I've got some of them. Ah, in fact, I downloaded it. I've actually got a file. Economy studies, benefits, expenditure, and caseload. I think the link should be on here anyway. I can find it. So they've got these crappy Excel sheets that's really hard to do anything with that have got many, many tables. But we can go in, for example, and look at welfare spending, right, back to 1978. And this is in millions, I believe, so billion, 99 billion. Let's just look, because that's a long way back. Let's just look since 2020, so the last 5 years. Our real spending in total cost, including cost of living, of people of working age since 2020 started at 136 billion. We're now 150 billion. That's a huge increase. That's 14 billion increase in spending just in people of working age and children. How? You know, that's something that should be falling in a country where you have, which is meant to be a first world country that's improving for young people. It's meant to be prosperous for them. Pensioners significantly increasing. Probably because their pensions are so bad. You've also got breakdowns then by like types of benefits. This is in millions, so this is billions down here. We've got again 2020. Let's just highlight all of this. Was I reading that wrong? Hang on. That's what we want. Okay, so severe disable, war pensions, maternity, income support, incapacity benefits. Is this real? Nominal? So this is what I don't really like, because to me, why is incapacity just dropped so much? It's like they've reclassified it into something else. Housing benefits, excluding universal credit. Housing. Jobs, JSA. I think JSA's now changed. Supposedly JSA's dropped. Don't believe that. Cost of living payments, cold weather payments. Cost of living payments didn't exist before now. 8.1 billion, 10.1 billion, and apparently going to completely drop this year. Sure thing. Christmas bonuses. Table 1B. This is real terms. Let's see if this is any different. JSA. Supposedly JSA seriously dropped. Thing is, I don't really trust the forecasting that they end up doing. Disability benefit. Here we go. Incapacity, council tax, housing benefits, income support. Do we have caseload here? Lone parents. I'm curious. In a society where so much divorce happens. I don't understand that. How, when you look at it, it looks good, but I don't. Unemployed, paid, JSA. Cases of income support for those underpinned. It's more parental, maternity. Nominal, real. Are they deluded, or have this not done of working age? Supposedly, unemployment expenditure has fallen. Sure, and it's going to be zero. Don't really believe that. And actually, there was a study done of UK grads on UC, right? In July, over 630,000 graduates fresh out of university with their fresh degree, ready to get a job, claimed universal credit in the UK, which is 12% of our claimants. That's absolutely insane. That is a broken system. Anyway, back to trading. Might have to end this stream soon because I'm getting a bit hungry. Oh, sorry. How long have we been live? Can always do another one later. Trump speaks. Please, can we hear Fox? Don't understand that. Okay. Well, I guess we won't get to hear that. Would have liked to hear that. Why is it playing twice?
Into our country. But it was a father he never knew. Luke, your parents are together in heaven, and they could not be prouder of the man that they have produced. They produced you. Those two great people produced you. Luke, please stand. Thank you. You look good, Luke. You look good. They're looking down on you. They're very proud. This morning we recall the light of America's best and bravest and the love that they showed in their final moments. In their memory, we make a solemn pledge and a noble promise. We will honor always our great heroes. You are our heroes. There's a group of people that don't want to talk about our heroes, but we will always talk about our heroes. And that's the way our country is, and that's the way the people feel. We will defend the nation they served, the values they upheld, and the freedom for which they died. We will support our troops, we will protect our families, and we will preserve the American way of life for every future generation. We will build taller, grow stronger, fight harder, and soar higher. And together we will go forward as one people with one heart, one faith, one flag, and one glorious destiny under Almighty God. May God bless the memories of those who died and the heroes who fought and the soldiers who still stand watch. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Sad stuff. Sad stuff. Well, that is the end of this stream. I'm gonna eat something now because I'm really hungry. I haven't eaten any breakfast. I just had coffee and did this. Yeah, a good stream. Just sort of tickering around the charts, looking at a bit of data. I'll probably come a bit more prepared next time with the data. But like I said, I'll probably do that offline. Offline, it's hard to just jangle figures around when they're not prepared. And yeah, sad day yesterday with 9/11, sad day the day before with Charlie Kirk's death. Not looking good for the economy.